Hello, in this video I'm going to carry on from where we left off, looking at the cheating rumours about Bryce and how Melissa reacts to them.
Melissa?
I'm nervous because I don't want to disrupt the peace at all. I probably keep some feelings to myself.
Hello.
Hello, you two.
Especially with Bryce because, yeah, I'm too scared to upset him.
Some people in this situation think of themselves as victims, and they are victims if somebody abuses them. But at the same time, they're making a choice not to express themselves. And so because of that, because they're not giving themselves any boundaries, it means the other person is free to exploit them. So they're volunteering themselves as victims. And it won't feel like this. I don't think it would feel like this to Melissa because she feels forced into this situation. She feels like this is too addictive. She needs this person. She has no choice. She can't give him up. It's much too painful.
Because you've seen his conflict style with other people.
That's a fear that I have as well. I don't want Bryce to get on the defence and go, well, I've had all this drama and the experiment. And he writes, leave. I'm already thinking the worst.
She's not being a genuine person in the relationship. So not only is she deciding who Bryce is rather than finding out, but she herself isn't being real either. So this relationship has no meaning. There's no real connection here.
I just have this intense fear of losing people. And I don't want to lose him.
He's scared he's going to leave.
Yeah.
Why would it be so terrifying for Melissa to lose someone she doesn't really know very well? They've only been together a short time. I think it's been weeks. But this does make sense if you need someone to validate you in order to feel like you have any worth. Because that means that if you're not attached to a person, then you're worthless.
We haven't had a major blow-up yet, but it's almost like I'm preparing myself for it to happen. I don't like confrontation or conflict. I don't want to voice how I actually feel.
And there are some people who do express themselves in these relationships. They say, I don't like that, stop doing it, I'll break up with you and all this kind of thing. But these aren't real boundaries. They're just fooling themselves into thinking that they have boundaries, but they don't act on them. There aren't any genuine lasting consequences. And so they're doing the same thing. They're giving the other person an opportunity to continually abuse them. We can see now it's not just a fear of facing painful feelings. It's so strong that it appears to be a fear of re-experiencing trauma. Bryce isn't forcing Melissa to be with him. She isn't being forced to accept abuse. She's choosing to because being rejected triggers the trauma inside of her that she experienced when she was a child. I don't know a lot about her childhood, but her father apparently abandoned her. And it doesn't have to be as literal as that for others. You can have a parent who is present in your life, but who continually rejects you. And that can be even more traumatic.
Melissa, I just need to drill down a little bit on this sense of maybe that he might leave or that you're going to be abandoned, because it's creating some distress for you. I can see it's on your face. Is there anything that he's done that's given you that sense that he may leave?
There has definitely been a few occasions where you've said just you wanted to leave.
That's sort of what I want.
In a codependent relationship, the person who's being abused can also be really narcissistic. They might not be abusive and they might be someone who can empathise with the other person, but they're hanging on to the other person and they're even entering relationships with somebody just because of what their own needs are and in order to feel validated themselves rather than to have any meaningful connection with somebody. It can be useful to notice that in yourself, because when you start to have meaningful connections, you're listening for who that person is, and you're also protecting yourself in the process. By changing your behaviour in that way, you can also start to change how much you need somebody's validation. Because in order to see who someone really is, you have to have patience and you have to give relationships time. And you start to play a different role yourself, rather than always wanting to take, needing something from the other person. You start to be more present and everything gets more real. Melissa doesn't seem to love Bryce for who he is, because if she did, she'd want to know who he really is. She'd be open to these different perspectives and to finding out what kind of person he is, rather than deciding who he is. That's a sign that she needs him to be a certain person in order for him to validate her.
I haven't really had a voice throughout the experiment because I'm too shy. I don't want to be the centre of attention. So Bryce, I care about what you're trying to do so much. He goes into bat for me. Time and time again. But obviously he handles things differently than I would.
She says he goes into bat for me, as if when he says the rumours aren't true, it's for her benefit. If the rumours are true, he's not going to want to admit that he's lied to get onto a TV show, that he's filled in the application form in a dishonest way. And yet she seems to have transformed his intention so that it fits with what she wants him to feel towards her. You can't defend yourself from abusive behaviour if you're continually misunderstanding someone's intentions. And the way to stop doing this is to stop needing them to have good intentions, to actually consciously decide you're going to look at what the real behaviour was and why someone would behave in that way, rather than looking at the bigger picture at who you think the person is. If they were shouting, what does shouting mean? It means getting their anger off their chest and not considering the other person and how that's going to feel. If they're patronising you, what does that mean? It means they want to make you feel small.
When you are yourself, you bring a lot of happiness and life to our relationship and to me.
She doesn't realise he's himself at the other times as well. And this is a common mistake, that people think, well, when the person's being nice, that's who they really are. And when they're being nasty, they're making a mistake, or there's some confusion in their heads about my meaning, my intentions, or they're just flipping out for no reason, but they're not really being themselves. When in reality, they are being themselves. They intend to behave in that way.
But Bryce, can you see that you constantly go to blaming others, to pushing that responsibility outside of yourself? It is constant. And I'm trying to help you understand your behavioural pattern here, because that's part of our job. This antagonistic behaviour where you blame and push responsibility to other people. Can you just see that really simple cause and effect?
Because the environment, been sucked into this vortex.
Just last week he was thinking of going because he wasn't that into her, and now he's suddenly decided he wants to stay and he's really into her, just at the moment when she's giving up.
Melissa, how confident are you in this relationship lasting?
I have very little confidence.
Good girl.
We are a sinking ship at this point.
Good girl.
I agree with her. In this environment, it's a Titanic.
It seems that he knows what she wants to hear, and he's saying it in order to hold on to her just as she's about to reclaim her power.
Last week, Melissa, you revealed that you're falling for this guy. That you got feelings of love for him.
I did say that.
Bryce, you wrote leave, crossed that out and put stay.
Yeah.
You saying, I just haven't quite felt the click. We want to know where you're at with that.
Felt that click on the weekend. I feel like I was able to be myself around her outside of the group. I'm basically at a point where I am falling in love with Melissa.
Look at everyone's reactions to what he's said. No one's convinced.
Has he told you that before we asked?
No, this was the first I've heard of it.
Why didn't you tell her, Bryce?
Save it for a special occasion with you guys.
I've never really had this before. So I'm pretty ecstatic, to be honest.
I think this is the issue. She hasn't had someone say he's in love with her before, so she doesn't know what it entails or what behaviour to expect from the person. She can't see that how he behaves doesn't suggest he's in love with her. She's just over the moon to hear those words. And words are so easy to throw about. She's the perfect target for somebody to just say the right thing to without meaning it, because she immediately believes them without looking for evidence that they mean something.
I want to keep moving forward. I don't want to, and this is what our fight was about, I don't want to keep going on with all of this. I don't want to go to another dinner party or anything like that and have to sit there and watch all of that unfold again.
I just want to commend you tonight, Mel, on your courage, your openness and your confidence in speaking your truth.
I think this psychologist is giving her a false sense of security. Melissa has only asserted herself since Bryce has said he's in love with her.
You know, you've said to us so many times, I don't have a voice. You describe yourself as shy and, you know, you're very much in that position as follower, you know, in the relationship with Bryce here being the leader. But tonight, you've absolutely, you've stood up, you've been very clear about what your needs are. You've been clear with Bryce, you've been clear with the others and with us as well.
She now thinks she has this leverage. It doesn't mean she would assert herself if she was feeling insecure in the relationship, which is most of the time.
I don't know, would you still describe yourself as not having a voice in this relationship?
Oh no, I'm not taking any shit anymore, to be honest.
And we like it. Good for you.
And that's what can happen in an abusive relationship. When the other person is about to leave, the abuser will give them a real sense of power and make them think they're valued and in control. And that's very seductive, but it isn't real. It's based on the illusion that the abuser respects them. Real assertiveness is about having boundaries when the other person doesn't respect you. It's about empowering yourself and not relying on someone else to empower you. I hope that was helpful. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.